There was a man who never failed a single exam, never lost a single job, never made a single wrong decision. You know why? Because he never did anything. He spent his entire life thinking about doing things, planning, worrying, analyzing every possible outcome. And by the time he was ready to start, his life was already over. This is not just a story. This might be your story right now. And if you don't stop what you're doing to your own mind, you will lose everything. Not because life was unfair, but because you were too busy thinking about living to actually live. Stay till the end. This story will hit you in a place you're not ready for. His name was Ethan, a 27-year-old software engineer from a small town. Brilliant mind, top of his class. Everyone said he'd change the world someday. But Ethan had a problem no one could see, a problem no doctor could diagnose, a problem that was eating him alive from the inside. He couldn't stop thinking. When his boss offered him a promotion, he didn't celebrate. He went home and spent 6 hours thinking, what if I fail in the new role? What if people judge me? What if I'm not ready? He turned it down. When a girl he liked smiled at him in the coffee shop, he didn't smile back. He spent 3 days analyzing, what did that smile mean? Was she just being polite? What if I say hi and she rejects me? What will people around us think? He never spoke to her. When his best friend invited him to start a business together, he made a 42-page pros and cons document. He researched for 6 months. He calculated every risk, every failure scenario, every worst case. By the time he was ready, his friend had already launched the company with someone else, and it became a $1 million brand. Ethan watched from the sidelines again. Months turned into years. Ethan was now 31. Same job, same desk, same salary, same life. But his mind had run a marathon every single day, not toward success, not toward growth. His mind ran in circles, the same circles, over and over. What if I'm not good enough? What if they laugh at me? What if I fail and everyone sees? He rehearsed conversations that never happened. He solved problems that didn't exist. He fought battles in his head that the real world never brought to his door. And the worst part? He knew he was doing it. He knew overthinking was destroying him. But knowing and stopping are two very different things. One night, Ethan couldn't sleep. His chest felt tight. His hands were shaking. His mind was racing at 200 miles per hour about nothing and everything at the same time. He called his older brother Daniel at 2 a.m. Bro, I think something is seriously wrong with me. I can't stop my brain. I can't breathe. I feel like I'm going crazy. Daniel was silent for a moment. Then he said something Ethan would never forget. Ethan, come visit me this weekend. Don't think about it. Don't plan it. Don't analyze it. Just come. For the first time in years, Ethan didn't think. He just booked the ticket. Now, before I tell you what Daniel showed Ethan, the one thing that changed everything, I want to ask you something. If this story is already making you feel something, if you see a little bit of yourself in Ethan, then do one thing for me right now. Hit that subscribe button, because the best part of this story, it's coming right now. Daniel lived in a small village near the mountains. No Wi-Fi, no noise. The next morning, Daniel took Ethan to a river. They sat on the rocks. The water was flowing gently.
Daniel picked up a handful of mud from the riverbank and dropped it into a glass of clear water. The water turned dirty, cloudy. You couldn't see through it. Ethan looked at him confused. What are you doing? Daniel said, this glass is your mind, and this mud, these are your thoughts, your worries, your what-ifs, your fears. You keep stirring them over and over every single day, and then you wonder why you can't see clearly, why you can't make decisions, why you feel lost. Ethan stared at the glass. Then Daniel said, now watch. He placed the glass on a flat rock and did nothing. They sat there in silence. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and slowly the mud started sinking to the bottom. The water started becoming clear again, not because someone filtered it, not because someone fixed it, but because it was left still. Daniel looked at Ethan and said, your mind works the same way, brother. You don't need to fight your thoughts. You don't need to solve every problem before it even arrives. You just need to stop stirring. Let the mud settle. Clarity doesn't come from thinking more. It comes from thinking less. Ethan felt something crack inside his chest. Not pain, relief. For the first time in years, his mind went quiet. Ethan went back home, but he was not the same person. He didn't suddenly become fearless. He didn't magically stop thinking, but he learned something powerful. He learned to catch himself every time his mind started spiraling, every time the what-ifs started piling up. He would close his eyes and whisper to himself, "Stop stirring the water." And slowly, everything changed. He applied for a senior position at a new company. His mind screamed, "What if you fail the interview?" He whispered, "Stop stirring." He went anyway. He got the job. He saw the girl from the coffee shop again, 2 years later, at a bookstore. His mind screamed, "It's too late. She won't remember you." He whispered, "Stop stirring." He walked up to her and said, "Hello." She smiled. She remembered. He started a side project, a small YouTube channel about mental health. His mind screamed, "Nobody will watch. You're not good enough." He whispered, "Stop stirring." He posted anyway. His first video got 50 views. His 10th video got 5,000. His 30th video changed someone's life in the comments. Daniel didn't defeat overthinking by fighting it. He defeated it by refusing to feed it. So here's what I want you to understand, and I need you to really hear this. Overthinking is not intelligence. It's a trap disguised as preparation. You think you're being careful. You think you're being smart. But what you're actually doing is building a prison out of thoughts that don't even exist yet. You're not afraid of failure. You're afraid of a story about failure that you wrote in your head. A story that hasn't happened and probably never will. 90% of the things you worry about never come true. But 100% of the time you spend worrying about them is gone forever. You don't get that time back. So right now, today, I'm asking you to do what Ethan did. Stop stirring the water. That text you want to send? Send it. That idea you've been sitting on? Start it. That apology you need to make? Make it. That dream you've been planning? Live it. Your brain will scream. It will say, "Wait, think more, be careful, not yet." And you just whisper back, "Stop stirring." Because clarity doesn't come from thinking more. It comes from having the courage to move before you're ready. And you are ready. You've been ready. The only thing standing between you and your life is the noise between your ears. So turn it down, step forward, and start living. I'll see you in the next one.